Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And filling in for Terry Stiles, I'm Julie Hogan. There might be a new DDA director soon, and a local man was killed in a motorcycle accident.
Stay tuned. Learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. The Downtown Development Authority, DDA, intends to hire Joel Frost as the newest director. The applicant has worked as a community preservation specialist in Cambridge City, Indiana. He has both a master's degree from Ball State University and a bachelor's from Michigan State. Although from Indiana, he was born and raised in Davison, Michigan. He is married and has 2 young children. Although the position was approved by a majority vote of the board, members Ed Hunwick, Bill Dunn, and Rod Charles voiced opposition to the proposed hiring. They felt funds would be better suited for downtown physical improvements and other financial requirements of the DDA. Board members Sue Bassardi led the charge to hire the new director. She had concerns that no one on the board possessed the necessary skills nor the time to devote to the overall development of grants and other future programs. By majority vote, 5-3, the motion was passed and will now go before the Oxford Village Council for review and possible final approval.
There have been much speculation during the past few months about whether or not Oxford Schools is breaking the law. The questions are, can Chinese students study for more than 1 year under foreign passport and visitor laws? And are the agreements between Oxford Schools, Rochester College, and Wei Ming Education Group legal? The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has now taken the question under advisement. Due to petition by Oxford's Team 20, a local concerned citizens group, Homeland Security has been brought into the process to help resolve the questions. According to the federal government, they will review the questions and render a decision soon.
And the Oxford Village Council will hold a special public hearing on Tuesday, July 14th at 6:30 p.m. to discuss increasing village fees for new water and sewer hookups. They will also consider charging residents, non-residents, and nonprofits and business for public and private use at both Centennial and Scripter Parks. In addition, council members are expected to charge for village community room and chamber use. Village Council will also consider increasing police fees. Again, that meeting will be July 14th.
The Village of Oxford will receive a new police car. Police Chief Mike Naimanowski was confirmed that approval was given by Village Council to purchase a new 2015 Dodge Charger. The planned expense was included in this year's budget for the $29,000 police-equipped vehicle.
Sadly, Douglas Milo Lassie, a 48-year-old Oxford man, was killed in a crash while riding his motorcycle on Drainer Road in Oxford Township. According to officers, a woman turned into the path of a pickup truck at the corner of Drainer and M24, pushing the truck sideways into the path of the westbound Drainer Road motorcycle. The motorcycle rider, who was wearing a helmet, was killed instantly.
Police were called to Chelsea Court in Oxford on a complaint of identity theft. It seems an email from DTE Energy said the resident needed to confirm the installation of power at 2 Detroit address locations. The man contacted DTE and told them he did not request this service. They agreed to cancel the service call. The man then told officers a short time later he received a call from a bank. Someone was using a Detroit address again to obtain a Home Depot credit card. The thief was now using the resident's social security number, name, phone number, and on application forms. The bank agreed to disregard this request. Police then provided the resident with a theft packet, a police report, and suggested that he cancel his credit cards.
And the K-9 Rescue League on Metamora Road in Oxford Township reported to Oakland County deputies that a young man working at the facility was caught stealing money from other workers. The supervisor said that thefts had occurred over the past 2 weeks. Cash was taken from several purses. A concealed camera was installed, and the young man in question was seen going through a purse and taking money. When confronted, he at first denied the accusation. However, when confronted with the evidence, he offered to give the money back. Police arrested the juvenile, called his mother to pick him up, and when she arrived, police released him to her custody. Further legal action is pending.
Sheriff's deputies were called to Dewey Street in Oxford on a complaint of attempted burglary. The resident, upon coming home from work, discovered pry marks on the front door of his home. Although officers went to the neighbors to see if there were any suspicious activity or people in the area, they found none. A police report was provided for the homeowner, and the case is on record.
Police received a report that a vehicle on Lapeer Road and Barrington Circle was driving in a reckless manner when his vehicle hit the curbing and the car's tire went flat. When officers arrived, the man was changing the tire. Officers also found a woman passenger in the vehicle. When police checked their identification against computer records, they discovered both the man and the woman had outstanding warrants issued for a civil matter. The vehicle was impounded, and both occupants of the vehicle were taken to the Oakland County Jail. Well, that's not good for them. What's going on for you, Julie?
Well, I guess you could say things are looking a little brighter on my end of the world, sort of. I have kids out of school right now, which I know, the bane of every mother's existence. We love our children, but boy, you got to find a lot for them to do.
Good news is you're not alone.
That's true. I'm in good company, I will say. I'm already hearing, though, I'm bored, and that's a little scary after 1 week. So, folks out there, I hope, you have, say a few prayers for me, etc., and hopefully things will go well. So.
Well, if we ever said that as a kid, my father said that idleness is a devil's workshop, and so he made sure we had a rake in one hand and a shovel in the other. So if they're bored, you know what to do out there, folks. Right?
I do have a little gardening that could be done. You're right. I like that philosophy. We'll see where that goes. How about on your end of the world?
Well, one more question I have. I understand that you are also doing the Let's Go Strolling or Let's Get Strolling program that we have here. How's that working for you?
I am absolutely loving it. I'm meeting so many great people around Oxford. I'm actually learning a lot. I had no idea the fantastic businesses that are just popping up all over Oxford. I mean, there's a lot of long-term businesses that have a wonderful reputation, and they've done a good job in our community, but there's a lot of new stuff coming up too, and it's really exciting to see. It's really great. So I'm having a great time strolling.
Yeah, I saw the one you did on Independent Village. It was really pretty neat.
Oh yeah. Well, I like to party with the local, with the local businesses. Boy, people like to have fun in Oxford. I will confirm that to everyone. So
well, we can spread rumors, can't we?
We can. I have a few juicy good ones, but we'll save that for later. Maybe I'll tell you later if you're good. So.
All right.
So that's Oxford News for this week. If you want to learn more about these stories and others, stop by your local store and pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper. Or better yet, catch us right here on OCTV Charter 191 and AT&T Channel 99, where we bring your news closer to home.
Coming up next on OCTV, tune in for Oxford Local Sports. Then catch Oxford School News with John Ochins. After that, it will be join us with Auto Talk and Science and the News. First day with my new lips here with Dave Kenny.
This is Oxford News this week.
I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, what a wake-up call. On June 18th, the German Aerospace Center in Cologne received 85 seconds of incredibly good news, a data chirp from the missing European Space Agency lander Philae. Despite 7 months adrift and alone on Comet 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko, Philae is back and ready for science. Philae has finally made contact, but only intermittently, so the first order of business is establishing a better link. The lander speaks to Earth via the orbiting Rosetta satellite, meaning communication is only possible during certain windows when the spacecraft is overhead. Philae only transmitted for a minute and a half out of a possible 2-hour window, meaning the link isn't ideal, and the lander team heard nothing during a Sunday broadcast window. Reorienting Rosetta should help, said ESA project scientist Matt Taylor. The mission team was able to download and analyze 300 data packets from Philae during its brief communication on Saturday, but they revealed that over 8,000 more are sitting in the lander's memory awaiting transmission. That suggests Philae had been operational recently but unable to transmit, so downloading this data will give the team clues about what the lander has experienced in the past few days. Once communications are properly established, the team will upload commands in hope of gathering more scientific data about Comet 67P. First on the list are temperature and magnetic field readings, with the possibility of more images from the surface to come later. Tough little guy. And under the sea, or that is to say, at the microscopic level, it is perhaps the most extraordinary eye in the living world, so extraordinary that no one believed the biologist who first described it more than a century ago. Now, it appears that the tiny owner of this eye uses it to catch invisible prey by detecting polarized light. This suggestion is also likely to be greeted with disbelief, for the eye belongs to a single-celled organism called erythrocidinium. It has no nerves, let alone a brain. So how could it see its prey? Fernando Gomes of the University of São Paulo in Brazil thinks it can. Erythrocidinium is a sniper, he told New Scientist. It's waiting to see its prey and it shoots in that direction. Erythrocidinium belongs to a group of single-cell planktonic organisms known as dinoflagellates. They can swim using a tail or flagellum, and many possess chloroplast, allowing them to get their food by photosynthesis just as plants do. Others hunt by shooting out stinging darts similar to the nematocysts, that is, of jellyfish. They sense vibrations when prey comes near, but they often have to fire off several darts before they manage to hit it, Gomez says. Erythrocidinium and its close relatives can do better. Gomez thinks because they spot prey with their unique and sophisticated eye called the ocelloid, which juts out from the cell. It knows where its prey is, he says. At the front of the ocelloid is a clear sphere, rather like an eyeball. At the back is a dark hemispherical structure where light is detected. The ocelloid is strikingly reminiscent of camera-like eyes of vertebrates, but it's actually a modified chloroplast. Many single-celled organisms have so-called eye spots made of light-sensitive pigments, and some can even swim toward or away from light sources. So it could be that the ocelloid serves merely to concentrate light so that even very low levels can be detected, as some biologists think. But this doesn't make sense, Gomez says. The ocelloid can occupy up to a third of a cell's volume, he found in still unpublished work. There's no need for such a large, complex structure just to say if it's light or dark. What's more, his videos reveal that it can point its ocelloid in different directions. You don't need to move your eye if you're only using it as a simple photoreceptor, he says. Other biologists studying erythrocidinium, that is, have also concluded that it uses its ocelloid for hunting. Absolutely, it's plausible, says Brian Leander of the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. He points out, though, that erythrocidinium preys on transparent creatures, including other dinoflagellates, that are almost invisible in normal light. But the massive nucleus of dinoflagellates has an unusual property. It just happens to polarize light. So Leander's theme thinks the ocelloid can detect polarized light, making the dinoflagellates that erythrocidinium preys on stand out clearly against the background, and good luck to them. And under the ocean, if there's one thing we have in common with these crabs, it's a keen sense of fashion. About 3/4 of the 900 species of crab in the family Majoidea decorate themselves, making them nature's most fashion-conscious animal. They improve accessories using whatever is around, grabbing items such as seaweed, corals, and sponges and sticking them to their shells, and hooked hairs called setae keep everything in place. While we adorn ourselves to be noticed, crabs do it for the opposite reason. The decorations provide camouflage so the crab can hide from predators. The nice thing about being a decorator is that wherever you go, you can pull off the old decoration, stick on something new, and quickly adapt yourself to whatever environment surrounds you, says John Stakovich of the University of California in Davis. If you're a slow-moving, roving animal, being able to quickly adapt to the coloration or background of wherever you are is likely very adaptive, he says. Some decorator crab species are more picky. They won't pick out just any old outfit. They go for materials that are chemically noxious or adorn themselves with stinging sea anemones. They are selecting decorations that make them toxic or bad to eat, says Stakovich. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.
I'm John Ochins, and welcome to the Oxford Wildcat School Update. Last week, Michigan Governor Rick Snyder signed the latest education budget legislation, also known as House Bill 4115. The good news is that we are getting a slight increase per student. Oxford Virtual Academy head Andrew Hulbert has been following this. He explains.
Today he increased the foundation allowance for our district by an increase of $140 per foundation allowance. So that's per full-time equivalent student. The performance funding, which really ties to this test scores that we achieved last year for our year-to-year increase in the MEP test scores, was $100 per full-time equivalent. He is removing that, Governor Snyder is removing that from the foundation allowance as well. So we will lose $100 per student because that is no longer an option to earn. So right now we are seeing an increase of 140, but we're also seeing a decrease of 150. The Governor Snyder wants to ensure that all districts are held harmless, so that they don't see that loss. So there's a guaranteed of at least $28 per student being given back to us. Because we were already $10 in the hole, we will see an increase of $18 per full-time equivalent for our students.
Speaking of the virtual academy, we checked in with them and found that it's been quite a great year, and their locations are expanding.
Great. We still are running the Harbor in Taylor. We have Renaissance Homeschool Group in Farmington Hills. They're opening a new location in Auburn Hills. We have a new partner actually here in Oxford. We're excited about that with the Merge Art Center. So we're going to be offering elective classes to students right here in the village, and that will be a great win-win for the community. We have a new group opening in Sterling Heights, Quavedis. They are excited to be offering classes to Sterling Heights families.
Are they open right now?
They are for fall.
Oh, for the fall. Okay, that's
yes.
coming up. Yeah.
Yes, it is. And people can go to our website and get information on courses there.
That was teacher Janet Schell. The Virtual Academy always has some extraordinary student situations as well. Counselor Mark Suckley tells us about one.
The one interesting student that we have came to us last year, and he lives in the Brighton area, and he is a professional paintball player. So he actually goes off all across the nation playing paintball. He's sponsored by some big paintball company, and that's what he does. And he's in 10th grade.
One of our high school extracurriculars is a group called I'm Third. Teacher Joe Amabile mentors these kids. They go out into the community and help local charities. They had an end-of-the-year pizza party a few days ago. I stopped by and asked Joe some of the places that they visited this year.
The one that's consistent is the backpack program. Those of you who went downtown to pack backpacks, that's every week.
Didn't do that. How was that?
We do an Extreme Home Makeover twice a year. We do Gleaners Food Bank a lot more than twice a year. Grace Centers of Hope was the new one we did this year, which was awesome.
That's down in Pontiac,
right? And then we went to Gleaners Food Bank. I'm not sure, what else did we do this year?
Well, the 5K, 10K run.
5K, 10K run. That's the very beginning of the year. It's just every year the need seems to fluctuate.
A great group of kids. Just a quick reminder that the free summer food program is going on over at the Oxford Elementary School. For details, call Karen Bissett at 248-969-5120. That's the Oxford School News for this week. Stay tuned for Dave and Elgin. This is Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.
Back in Oxford News this week, time for Oxford Sports. Well, just south of us, we want to pass a kudos and a salute on to St. Joseph. The St. Joseph Mavericks softball team recently earned a Catholic CYO Youth Organization Division C championship that is comprised of 5th and 6th grade players. I want to congratulate them. They're made up of schools from the Ernest Academy, St. Joan of Arc, St. Lawrence, St. Mary's, and St. Clair. They finished with a record of 9-1. Team is made up with players from the St. Joseph School and the parish, along with the St. Joseph Christ and Redeemer just south of us. They also have a 7th and 8th grade softball team who had a pretty successful season themselves. They finished up in the middle of the standings in the CYO division. Keeping it out there on the baseball field, our own Rod Wright caught up with some interesting interviews in a segment we want to call, Hey, it's summer, it's sports time, let's talk to Rod.
Yeah. There we go. Well, we have the pitcher, Hannah Mix, and Ramey Shufflin. We're going to look at this camera right here, Ramey.
Okay.
Well, you play a good shortstop.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're quite an athlete. I notice you're You know what to do out there.
Thanks.
You've been playing quite a while?
Yeah. Couple years. Travel. I've been playing for LGSL and Lake Orion and high school ball and all that.
Really?
Been playing for about 10 years now.
Yeah, you know the game very well.
Yeah.
You're very coordinated, very athletic.
Thank you.
Good job pitching today.
Thank you.
Very consistent. I think you've only had two base on balls. I started talking about the one base on balls, and you had a base on balls. I jinxed you, so that last one was my fault.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Well, it's pretty much just getting the ball over the plate and trusting your fielders, isn't it?
Yeah, you just gotta throw it over the plate and see what it does.
Well, good. How are the girls hitting against you?
Pretty good.
They're okay.
They're doing okay?
Yeah. I mean, they hit it, but my fielders back me up.
Yeah, that's why I noticed that your team looks really good
defense,
defensively too.
Yeah.
Good hits and stuff. Well, you're doing good today, and I really enjoy watching. Are you from Orion too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So what do you guys do? Just live softball down there?
Basically.
I know. There's a lot of kids at that school in there.
Yeah.
Well, I notice a lot of kids from Orion come up here to play because there's no room. Like in volleyball, even they come up here and play because it's so competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very competitive.
Very hard to get. What did you play JV or?
Yeah, I was the starting pitcher for JV.
For JV, and did you play varsity JV?
I played JV and then I got brought up to varsity.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Thanks.
Well, good. Well, there we go. Hannah Mix and Ramey Shufflin, both all the way up from Lake Orion. And
I'm from Oxford.
You're from Oxford, though.
I lived in Lake Orion when I played for LGSL, yeah.
Oh, okay. So are you going to play for us then? Are you not going to Oxford High School?
I am. I have one more year left, yeah.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
Yep.
All right. Well, there we go. We'll get back to the game, Dan, and thank you very much, girls.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And next time you're asked to clean out the garage, hey, don't be hesitant about doing that. Hey, I just recently did and caught up with these two gems. Yes, I guess I could be construed as a pack rat, but these two Wheaties boxes, one showing Kurt Gibson back when he was in the California area, and also our own Detroit Pistons from 2003. Once again, just one of the gems I found out there. So hey, don't be hesitant when you have to go out and clean the garage. Hey, just a reminder, our programs can be seen here easily on OCTV, online or your personal device. Go to OCCTV.org, hit the Programs tab or YouTube, and you can watch our programming on demand on your computer, iPad, or phone, wherever you choose to watch, whenever you want. Catch all the sports school programs on the weekends here, Saturday and Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. on OCTV. Once again, you can go to our website, OCCTV.org, catch them online as well. Hey, if you see Rod out there at any of the Little League games or softball games, go up to him and see if he'll interview you. Maybe you'll be seeing yourself right here on OCTV. That's going to wrap it in sports. Have yourself a good one. Once again, congratulations to our neighbors to the south, St. Joseph, in their recent victory. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Welcome to another segment of the news we call your weekly calendar of events, where we feature your local Oxford and Addison community events, including charity special fundraisers and general community information. Now, if you or your organization would like help to get your message out to the public, contact us for detailed information at our studio phone number at 248-628-9658, or you can go to our website at OCCTV.org. Wednesday, June 24th, 5 to 9 p.m. Calling all ladies. Shop downtown Oxford for great sale items. This year's theme for Girlfriends Walk is bags and baubles. Girls have fun, great food, and join all your friends for a great night out. Bring gently used handbags and jewelry to the Centennial Park and support Oakland County's Career for Lighthouse. July 18th, Saturday, starting at 10:30 a.m., enjoy all day at the Addison Township Strawberry Festival. Located in the greatest little town in Michigan, enjoy rides, games, crafts, car show, parade, and much, much more. The parade begins at 12 noon, and you won't want to miss it. Strawberry shortcake and sundaes. Don't forget the date, Saturday, July 18th. August 1st, Hi-Yo Silver, organization of this year's Lone Ranger Parade, scheduled to be held on August 1st, are looking for sponsors. Sponsors donating $200 or more will receive a special big head. Now you might ask, what is a big head? Well, it's a large caricature image that fits over a parade walker, and thus providing a fun and fascinating characterization for the reviewing audience. For more information, call the Lone Ranger Parade Director, Rod Charles, at 248-371-9100. If you represent an organization wishing to show your support for our local Oxford school sports, music concerts, or any of the many programs broadcast by our TV station, you could become a sponsor or an underwriter on OCTV. A promotional television spot would be created and recognition will be given to you by our sports announcers during the event. It's easy and it's really quite inexpensive. For more information, contact our TV station manager service, Bill Service at 248-628-9658. That number again, 248-628-9658. Or you can send a message of interest to Bill's email address, manager@occtv.org.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, Toyota Motor Corporation came out on top in Edmund.com's annual Best Retained Value Awards, nabbing a brand level award and 4 model level awards. The awards recognize brands and nameplates that have the highest projected residual values after 5 years compared to their average transaction prices when sold new. Toyota won the non-luxury division with a projected 52.4% residual value after 5 years. The 2015 models of the Tacoma, Avalon, Tundra, and Highlander were among the award winners in 24 segments. Among all segments and nameplates, the Tacoma pickup had the highest average retained value after 5 years at 64.5%. Second to the Tacoma was the 2015 Jeep Wrangler with 62.4%. Smart car shoppers who are likely to sell their car within 5 years should always stop and consider projected residual value before making a new car purchase, Edmund.com's consumer advice editor Carol Lenchett said in a statement. Acura took home the luxury brand level award with a projected 5-year residual value of 46.9%. Acura had 2 model level award winners, the 2015 ILX with 48.2% and the 2015 RDX with 44.8%. And at General Motors is returning to the medium-duty commercial truck business in the U.S. next year after a 7-year hiatus, a move that GM believes will lead to more sales of pickups, vans, and other trucks to fleet buyers. GM announced that they will sell trucks from Isuzu Motors as rebadged Chevrolets. They include 6 so-called low-cab forward models: Chevrolet 3500, 3500 HD, 4500, 4500 HD, 5500, and 5500 HD. Ed Pepper, GM's Vice President of Fleet and Commercial Sales, said dealers who do significant fleet business have been asking for years for GM to return to the medium-duty market. Pepper said medium-duty customers typically need other trucks for their fleets, from midsize and light-duty pickups to vans and crossovers. GM was scheduled to announce the move June 15th at a national meeting of Chevrolet dealers in Las Vegas. Chevrolet will sell regular cab and crew cab versions of the new trucks, which will offer a GM-sourced 6-liter V8 engine, that's a gasoline engine, or Isuzu's 3-liter and 5.2-liter turbo diesel engines, depending on the model. The line will be based on Isuzu's N-Series trucks. While Ford Motor Company sells other styles of medium-duty trucks, Pepper said no domestic competitor sells low-cab forward trucks, which position the driver as far forward as possible in front of the engine. And big changes at VW. VW Group's corporate structure will be reorganized into a decentralized system with 4 holding companies running the company's 12 brands, report said. Former BMW manager Herbert Diess will be in charge of the holding company that will run VW, Skoda, and Seat passenger car brands. The Audi, Lamborghini, and Ducati brands will form another holding company led by Audi CEO Rupert Stadler, according to reports. Porsche, Bentley, and Bugatti will be grouped together in a single unit under current Porsche boss Matthias Müller. VW, commercial vehicles, and the Scania and MAN heavy truck brands will form another division led by Daimler Trucks boss Andreas Rentschler, the report said. Each business group would decide which models it sells and which markets they are sold in. The head of each holding company will sit on a smaller management board. And at Ford, as Ford Motor Company tries to instill some Silicon Valley attitude into its ranks, the automaker is planning a major overhaul to bring its aging research and engineering campus out of the 1960s. The decade-long project, estimated to cost $1 billion, could be among a multitude of Ford investments in Michigan totaling upward of $3 billion. A new deal with the state gives the automaker tax incentives towards upgrades that retain thousands of jobs. Ford's 1.9 million square foot campus, a confusing collection of inefficiently used buildings that forces employees and suppliers to ride shuttle buses or search for parking, looks even shabbier in contrast to gleaming tech centers erected around Detroit by Toyota Motor Corporation, Hyundai, Kia, Automotive, and other transplant automakers more recently. And an unspecified number of employees would ultimately move to the campus from other locations in southeastern Michigan. Well, that's all for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back after this.